Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live from our comfy couch here in the Oscars Internet. It's the Gaming Saloon Reviews for January 20th, 2024 with your host, Peacebreaker248 and Rampant Epsilon.
Hi.
It's more Saber.
Yay.
Yeah. This is a show we're still watching.
I feel like parts of this week was good. But then at the same time, I feel like we've got other parts where it's like, yep, now we're just doing things. Like our entire villain side of it.
Oh, don't you love how we're like, oh yeah, remember how this one guy doesn't like the secondary writer? We need to remind you of that so he can die in 2 episodes.
Also, they make every villain die to a new form, don't they?
No.
We sure about that?
Not the last 2. Oh wait, no, the one in between the last 2.
Okay.
Or what?
Because I was gonna say we don't have final form. I know that, and we don't have final form that the show loves to cram down everyone's throats because we were in that phase.
The second to last one does not technically die to Cross Saber. Technically, if I recall correctly. And final villain dies to the fucking
base
new book, but it's the base new book. But I'm glad died with Saber, and we've never done this bullshit again.
The main reason that I'm like they're doing a new form for every villain defeat thing is because we've had 2 major upgrades. They both have resorted to 2 of our villains dying. We have 2 more major villains. We have 2 more suits.
I wonder what's going to happen. Yeah, no, we don't. I thought we would get into.
That's the thing that I can say with 01. The suits weren't there just to kill someone.
Yeah, they actually had stuff to them, unlike Tatsugami here.
That I'm gonna go out on a limb and say we're not gonna see it too many more times.
I mean, we're done seeing King Lion, so like we're officially never seeing King Lion again.
Oh, well then we might see it for a little more.
Yeah, I think we're stuck with Tatsugami for the rest of the series, which makes me just go, "Wow, King Lion is a fucking waste." Then,
pretty much, yeah. Even though that's probably one of the better suits.
Plays his best suit.
Yeah.
I'll be like, the Tatsugami's gimmick is cool, but like, I prefer King Lion.
Its gimmick puts it on par with Elemental, which is what it's supposed to. So yeah. I completely get it for that. I don't really care for how it looks.
I also think the book is dumb. Like, what are we even doing with this book, with the book gimmick anymore? We turn it sideways and slam the damn thing in there. It doesn't even have like the proper like pre-page stuff on there. You just open the book and then close it back up, only to reopen it when you transform.
Yeah.
I feel like they just gave up with the gimmick with Tatsugami and just went bookend sideways. Fuck it. It's got a little spinny thing.
Well, I mean, you know, they thought they were going to come up with something and didn't. I have to think it was I almost have to think it might not have even actually been meant to be his form to begin with. And they changed course as part of the way.
Yeah, because he has the book is made from one of the part of the big book that's part of the bigger book that is plot important. That feels like a main writer thing, not a secondary writer thing.
Well, the way they did it, the way they wrote it, it does feel like it probably wasn't necessarily a main writer thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know if maybe it was supposed to be possibly like a form for Master Logos, for like him having a different style of driver, and when they scrapped something that way, then maybe it had to just be repurposed.
Oh, don't worry, Master Logos is gonna get his own thing eventually.
I mean, duh. He can't just magic mind power defeat them for 10 episodes and then them kill him in one.
Don't worry, he's going to get a writer form, and you're going to be very upset once you realize what it's made from.
Also, for those that didn't catch the reference, I'm sorry, why did you not catch the reference?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I should probably also say this because I don't know if you caught the end of the Tears of the Kingdom speed run. It does spoil one of the big things I've been wanting to talk to you about with Tears of the Kingdom.
As I said on pre-show, ADHD brain, I did not catch like most of that. I caught the beginning of it, wanted to catch more of it, and yeah, then sidetracked hard. And I think the only thing that I came out of that with was, oh, so we do put everything back to how it was before, except no Calamity Ganondorf. I know that's not his name, but I wanted to right there.
I forget what his actual name is for like his final form.
It's probably something Ganondorf, if I had to guess.
Yeah. There is no time travel there is no time travel for like that import. It's just a case of, oh, you have blown up the guy that has been causing problems the entire game. Congratulations. Everything's back to normal now.
Mm-hmm. Kind of figured. That's typically how Nintendo games end. You beat the villain, so now the world goes back to how it was. I kind of would have preferred if we had done something different with this, though. Just out of seeing that little bit, I'm like, okay.
Fair.
And I mean, that was the last cutscene, so I didn't actually see anything leading up to it, so.
Fair. There's a lot with Zelda in this game.
It's one of those. The time travel part for Zelda, I feel like it probably would have been neat if it was a case of Link just couldn't fix everything. It was a case of he could defeat Ganondorf, but Zelda was still stuck in time.
She's not really stuck in time.
Well, I mean, I could see something of that nature.
Yeah.
That would have made it kind of be a neat thing. It'd be like, okay, yeah, you saved the day, but it was really a hollow victory.
Yeah. Because there's a whole...
That's kind of the vibe that I was getting the way that Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom were going to be. Where it was going to be a case of, we might save the day, but did we really?
Yeah. There's a whole gut punch when you finally find out where the fuck Zelda has been the entire game. And you're like, oh, she took the long way back. Oh, well then. Anyway, Saber, a different sword wielding thing. It's 29 through 32. Any other thoughts before we get into recaps?
Not really, because I mean, our hero side of it, I feel like was really good storytelling. The villains this batch was just meh.
They're trying really hard to make me care about Master Logos, and I'm like, you can make him like black and creepy and all that, and I don't care because he's not a character.
He is person shoehorned into story, sitting on throne, commanding others to do his work.
Commanding all 2 other people to do his job for him.
I don't know. I feel like him and Storius are kind of just telling everyone what to do at this point.
Yeah.
That it's really just them two calling the shots.
Where the fuck are the rest of the
neither
knights?
of them have done anything of use in this show.
Where the fuck are the rest of the knights from like 4 episodes ago?
Yeah.
Like, we confirmed that he murdered apparently 4 other people that are supposed to be in charge with him. Because fuck him. I don't even know. I didn't even realize there were supposed to be other people that were supposed to be in charge with him until he's like, yeah, I murdered them. Who are you talking about anyway?
I think there
them
was a comment about something about sages at one point, but it was literally a one-off line, and that was it.
I don't think we've even seen people in costumes next to the throne where these empty seats were in these batch of episodes. I think this is literally the first time we're hearing about these people.
At least hearing of how many. Like I said, I think they were name dropped once, and that was it.
Yeah. Shall we get into the recaps?
I guess so.
All right, episode 29. At that moment, the swordsman made his move. So Rentro's officially back on the team, but he's going to go back to the southern base to figure out who the traitor is, because that's just how Rentro works.
Which he figures it out after he guesses wrong the first time. Way to go.
Yep. Bravo, Rentro. This is when Reika's brother shows up that I do not remember the name of, and I don't care. He sucks. I do not like this character, and if you were to put me in charge of this show, I would delete this character from existence and literally replace him with anybody else. I don't care. Do I have to sell a toy? Sure. He can literally be anyone else but this character. This character just sucks. Everything they did with this character sucks.
I mean, he could still be a character. In all seriousness, because as everyone points out, they know nothing about his sword. Meaning all they could have done is wrote it as it was a sword that Master Logos created, and then there you go.
I don't think they do that at all.
There's enough magic in this show. They could have figured a way to make that.
I just mean they never explained where the fuck his sword came from or what the fuck it is.
The closest we got was apparently it's some kind of like myth kind of deal.
So it's the Sword of Time. I'll just tell you that right now. It's the Sword of Time.
Sort of time slipping. Because that's all it is.
All he does is teleport behind people and whack them in the back of the head.
Uh-huh.
And not even like, oh, I'm going back 5 seconds and then bonking you in the back of the head. No, I'm literally just teleporting behind you and then going bonk, bonk, bonk for like every fight. And I'm like, you are the most boring fucking person in existence with time travel powers. What the fuck? You do one thing every fight, and I want you to stop doing it and do anything else.
At least he only does one thing.
Also, don't you love how he looks like the O's driver?
Fair. But the main reason why I said at least he only does one thing is because it seems like Toma can just get whatever power is needed for that person that they are fighting.
Yeah, I forgot about that until it happened, and I'm like, oh, right, he does this once and then never does it again.
I saw that, and I'm like, oh, Jesus.
Just like the other thing that's only gonna happen once and then never again.
Plot convenience, that's all it is.
Yep. But yeah, we cut back to the team, and they're happy that Rentro's back, but then they're like, oh, he's gonna back and try to get the traitor. Oh, he's probably gonna get into trouble. And Yuri's like, I can get us into the base because my friend got into the base and he made a pathway and I can follow him.
Also known
Still
as, he can get us in there because he is plot convenience. Again.
I also love that, again, they do not call this character by his name at all. Yuri refuses to talk about his friend, even though Toma has literally met the person and still doesn't bring it up in conversation of like, yeah, I've met this weird guy in a pink coat and a pink hat, and like, his name's Tassel, but also his name's Victor. Because by the way, that's the same person. They're referring to the same person with both of those names.
Uh-huh.
It's so stupid. Why does he have two names? Why is he just not Tassel? Is he Victor Tassel? Is he Tassel Victor? I know the actual answer is that he was Victor before he took up the duty of guarding the Wonder World, and then he became Tassel. But like, why is his name just Tassel in general? Why did he go under a different name then?
Reasons.
Anyway, back with Retro, he finds out that Reika's got Sophia locked in the broom closet, demanding a book that will let them replicate people or make human bodies or something or other. It's for a plot point later that's stupid and I don't care.
Powerful book they want.
Yes.
Also, I love the fact that after this, Retro makes the promise that he's going to save her, and then isn't the one that saves her.
Also, does not tell anyone. By the way, Sophia's locked in a closet somewhere. We should probably go get her. Also, does he need a specific book day to get into the not door that is this broom closet?
That was the other thing. Also, later when, you know, they take Toma through the book and Durandal doesn't know how to follow them, can't he just open the book and follow them? He knows where they're going.
Are the book gates not universal? Are they just tied to a specific thing and they have to just use that specific book gate? Because that feels bad.
It feels dumb, not bad.
Yeah. But anyway, Retro tries to report this to Master Logos. He's like, oh no, you found out the plot. Durandal, please kill him. And Durandal's like, all right. I also hate that Durandal's book is a water book in order to repeat like stuff. I'm like, why is your book anything else? Why is it a water book? That's Blades' thing.
Yeah.
Is water. He is the swordsman of water. Why do you have a water themed book? At least your sister has a book that is specifically themed after her, because ain't nobody else in the show have insects.
The only thing that I can think of is that someone thought flow of time, so let's go water.
And not just water, all the animals water.
Yeah.
Which is exactly going to be Blades' upgrade in 3 episodes.
Uh-huh.
Again, this character is fucking redundant and I hate him. Delete him from existence. Fucking world yourself off the fucking cliff. You are a literal, repetitive, pointless character to sell a toy that literally could have been anything else.
But they have to sell the trident.
The trident that is also a sword that he uses as a trident all the time.
Uh-huh.
Then in order to use his powers, he has to split it in half and then put it back together to use the stupid time stop thing.
Uh-huh. That if any of them had paid attention to for like 0.5 seconds, they would have just realized, smack him, take half of it, and he quits doing that.
Smack him, steal the handle, start beating the shit out of him with the handle.
I mean...
Anyway, we see him teleport around and there's teleport shenanigans and everyone thinks it's a teleport, but it's time travel. Like, the most minor of minor ass fucking time travels. Fucking... It might as well be a time stop and not a time travel. Because it's perceived as a time travel from how it's shown in the show. Is he goes back 5 seconds, then moves somewhere else, and then bonks you in the back of the head.
It really just more looks like Master Logos taught him teleport and decided to use it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it was very effective against all of the riders.
God, I just wish I'm just like, why don't we have an ice themed rider? That would have been more fun. Especially if like Rentro's getting the ice themed book. That would have been a nice like combat thing of, oh, Rentro evolves his water into ice, but here is the guy who's the master of ice. That might be interesting. Nope, time.
Water time.
Yep. But yeah, he beats up Rentro.
Not to be confused with Rider time from Geo.
Yeah. Yeah, he beats up Rentro. Toma shows up. He's able to dodge because he can just dodge. That's it. He's able to not get bonked in the back of the head because he can dodge reflexively with his powers in Elemental.
Yeah.
And eventually then Rendell's like, all right, fuck this, and takes Rentro hostage and be like, give me your shit or I stab him. And then Toma complies, even though it's like, he's gonna stab him anyway. Like, good on you for caring about your friend, but like, did you have a plan B for if you decided not to let Rentro go? Was it hope Yuri finally shows up? Because Yuri has a bad habit of not showing up when we need his fucking help this week.
Yeah.
What the hell, Yuri?
Yeah. By the way, this is almost the last time that we'll see him this week.
Yuri, why are you fucking useless?
Because apparently they've wrote a character that technically should be strong enough to solve all the problems, but they have to find dumb ways to slow him down so that he doesn't solve all the problems.
But can he really solve all our problems? He's never seemed that strong.
He always has been able to hold his own against every new person that has beat everyone else down.
Right.
I feel like he technically is and is just holding back. Because have you not noticed that it seems like everyone with any kind of power just loves screwing with Toma?
I mean, yeah, that sounds about right.
You know, I'm not wrong on that either, is the bad thing.
Yeah. But Yuri shows up, he kind of fights Durandal to a standstill, and then Toma's like, Retro, use the elemental book! And then it lets him turn into like a thing of water, and then he gets everyone out, and then they all run.
And I get the feeling that this is the only time we will ever see this.
Yes, it is literally the only time we will ever see this.
Because, you know, why have a book called Elemental Dragon that anyone else could use to utilize their element?
That literally does the Hyper Muteki. Here's the star power up to do fancy attack thing, and then no one ever gets to use it. Fucking that got used in more in X-Aid. At least got used like 4 times.
By different people.
Yep. Sometimes I look at Saber and I go, another show did this better. And I'm just annoyed that you're trying to do it, but you're doing it badly.
But you know what I feel like our problem, more so than not, with Saber is? We're seeing the ghost of it. A lot of the bad things that Ghost did, this is doing these same things.
Yeah.
They haven't learned.
Yeah.
It's
almost like,
it's odd.
It's almost like it's the same main writer or something. Could be anyone else as the main writer.
It's really odd to see that they didn't learn anything.
I feel like
especially when we literally just had 01 that showed that they learned a lot from how X-Ed was done.
Yeah.
It's one of those that really kind of stings more. And I think that's part of the reason why I dipped so early, is because I was seeing the potential for a lot of this. Even though we do have parts of the story that are good. I'm fine with admitting that. But I'm at the end of the day, I don't feel like I was missing anything.
I feel like all the good things I like about Saber, I'm willing to chalk up to the secondary writers of this show, because the secondary writers have wrote for other shows I've liked. And I'm like, it must be you writing the stuff that I enjoy in this show, because it can't be the main writer.
I could see it.
But yeah, that's episode 29, which takes us to episode 30, Bonded, Even When Apart. So Retro's back after, his whole little side quest. Also, Sophia's back because Kento saved her from the closet because he felt like it.
And because apparently he has a master book gate that can just open the door.
I think it's just because he can just teleport wherever the fuck he feels like.
He opened the door.
Oh. Never mind.
That was one of those, I was like...
Never mind. Retro just forgot he could probably use his book to do the same thing Reika did and get her out of the closet.
Unless with the book gates, there's like this weird hallway, and he teleported into the hallway for dramatic purpose?
Probably. Kento's in a dramatic mood at the current moment.
Yeah. He is our not darkened emo child right now.
I am sad because I have seen too many futures that end badly, and I'm trying to stop them from happening. Except I keep seeing, apparently I haven't seen the futures that are currently happening in the show. Somehow.
And I'm waiting on someone because, we keep having these conversations with him, and he keeps saying about how he's seen all of this. I'm waiting on someone to be like, okay, you have said this, and we have proved you wrong. Quit being stupid and come back.
Here's an idea. You know the bad futures. What if, hear me out, you tell us why everything goes wrong, and then we not do those things?
Remember, that's actually been tried. It'll be twice by the time we get through all these episodes, but it did, yeah. Because, if I'm not mistaken, I think that was exactly Toma's argument.
And Kento's like, no, I tried that and it didn't work. And I'm like, did you try harder? Maybe you need to try harder, sir. Apparently you're not trying hard enough. What's
funny is, Sophia does the same thing in these episodes. And it's like, really? When's he gonna realize they're gonna prove anything wrong?
This is why he doesn't deserve his sword back. This is why May deserves his sword. For all 2 seconds we see her wielding it.
Right. Which if I didn't know that, Kento was back, I'd be like, okay, that's the play that we're gonna try to make there, but no. No.
You know what's
that would have made more sense.
You know what's funny if they keep this trend going in the Rara era? Saber will be the only show where the main trio of writers does not contain a female writer.
Huh. Yeah. You're right.
And they still over here doing all of these like sword promises imagery all the time. And I'm like, where the fuck is her sword? Why doesn't she have a sword? And then I know what happens later in the show. And I'm like, you picked the wrong person. You gave it to the wrong person, literally. Like, cool, she does other things. Also, she's the one that keeps saying she wants to help.
And keeps getting put on the bench.
Yep. Anyway, end the episode proper. Zurus is now mad at Rentaro again, even though he hasn't been mad at Rentaro for the last, few times we've seen him. But now he's back to hating Rentaro, and now he wants to murder him. This is essentially going to lead to May getting whammied and turned into the cat Magia. Or Megiddo. Not Magia. Megiddo. Wrong show.
Wrong show.
Doesn't help they both start with M's.
Yep.
But Yeah, May gets turned into that, and then they have to deal with that for 2 episodes. I feel like a lot of the next 2 episodes is just they find out the cat's fighting, they go to fight it, they spend forever fighting the 2 of them, and then it ends in a draw, and then they fuck off, and then they go back and do this for like 4 more times.
You missed one thing, but yes. Retro has to get mad at Toma every time afterwards.
Yes. Because it all just blends together at this point, because I'm just like, I don't remember which fight is which except for the last one.
Mainly because the last one's the only important one.
Yep. Anyway,
and that's not even this episode.
Yeah. Anyway, that happens for the entire like rest of this episodes, that they do that, and then that's draws. And then also people get turned to the keychains, and then they forget it by the end of the 2nd episode of this.
Yeah.
They don't deal with that. I guess they're all dead.
Or they all got turned back and put back wherever they were took from.
I guess. I don't know. The show forgot about it.
Yeah, the show completely forgot about it. Now, I mean, granted, okay, the action side of it, yes, that is completely all this is. The dialogue side of it, I feel like, was some pretty solid writing.
Yeah. Because, like, you get to know how, like, Toma and May met each other, and you get a lot of, like, inner conflict within them of just, like, Rentro feels bad because it's like, I can't keep up with you, I can't do this, I can't save them, because, like, Toma's the only one that's learned how to, like, separate people with his sword, which I love how they're like, Toma can't do it fully, and I'm like, yes, he did. The one you're flashing back to is the exception because it was 2 people in one Megady.
I didn't think he has.
That's the only reason it didn't work.
I didn't think he has done it solo.
I could have sworn he did it solo.
I don't think he has. I think that was the closest that he got to it.
Right, but the problem with that one is it was 2 people in one.
But as
so
we also later
do it.
But as we also later found out, that wasn't the only issue with that.
Right. But like Yuri couldn't separate that person either. It took Yuri and Toma to save those 2 people. So like technically we don't even know if Toma could do it anyway.
Yeah.
Because he's not been given a situation where he could do it. Yuri's always been around to help, and now Yuri's fucked off to stay in a house for 2 episodes for a bird to show up and tell him, oh, by the way, your friend's taking a nap.
For him then to react with immediately transforming.
Yes, and then fucking off.
Because there's totally a danger right there.
Apparently.
Like, he didn't just go sword form. Because I could see that being his mode of transportation. No, he went full rider form. Why? What was the point of that?
I have no idea. Also, Buster tries to talk to Ren and get him to join back, and he doesn't feel like it because he's busy walking around forever with his ass following him, going like, join my team, let's do crime. Join my team, let's do crime.
Meanwhile, he's a little down because he's only got 1 sword.
Yes, even though his transformation only works if he splits the sword.
Yep.
So he shouldn't be able to transform, but he will be able to transform. If you're going to be annoyed about Ren and Disaster, don't worry. That's all they do for the next like 5, 6, 7, 8 episodes. Is literally when Ren walks around and Disaster goes, hey, join my team. Let's do crime. Let's go be a 3rd faction. That's all they do. Every scene.
I feel like I'm fine with that compared to how Ren was at the beginning.
True. It still annoys me though, because I'm like, you're trying to make me care about these 2 of having this big long rivalry and stuff, and it doesn't fucking exist in this show. It exists in a whole bunch of other side material. It does not exist in this show. Because you obviously don't care about them, because they get nothing in terms of development outside of just, well, they're still doing their thing, I guess. Anyway, I feel like I've covered everything in the episode. Am I missing anything?
I don't think so.
Okay, how do you feel halfway through, since we're halfway through?
Honestly, for what we've gotten story side for, like I said, for the hero side of it, I'm fine with it. I just kind of wish they'd do more than just take the toys and smack them together when it comes to the villains right now.
Yes.
That, and I'm also a little aggravated that we didn't get, most of this character development before now.
Yeah.
We're over halfway through the show. Why are we just now getting character development for our secondary writer?
Yep. He had to be mopey for the entire time Yuri was around and did nothing. That's why King Lion just gets no time, because he's stuck not transforming because he doesn't want to fight.
It just aggravates me on that part of it, though.
That's how I feel about Saber.
It's one of those
aggravation.
It's one of those. This show has potential, has good story for certain parts. They waited so long to do that, though, that now they have no time to really flesh out the ones that should be getting it right now.
Yeah, clock's ticking. We got to get to the main plot of this fucking show now, because we're like, what, 12 from the end?
Yeah, something like that.
We're less than 15 episodes from the end. We got to get the fucking main plot done, guys. We got main villains to kill. We got shit to do. We got final forms to introduce.
And
we ain't got time for secondary characters anymore.
I think what aggravates me too with us waiting this long in Saber also comes from how Gotchard's doing right now.
Yeah.
We've kind of got enough backstory to suffice for most of the characters now.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, we need more of, like this past week's episode, of us seeing the past and seeing the things that led up to the events we've got now. That's one of those. We need more of that now in Gotchard, whereas with Saber, we should have already had that where we're at in it. We should have already gotten a pretty deep backstory besides, oh yeah, our main villains all were either there at the beginning or descendants from one that was there at the beginning.
Yeah.
That makes me care for them. Why?
Yeah. I've also found out a detail about Majade that makes her whole like toy situation and all that stuff with her makes so much more sense now. So Majade was not planned to be in the show originally. She was planned to just be in the movie. But then they went, oh, let's make her the secondary writer. And I guess that decision came too late to really make her toy to retail. So that's why she's Premium Bandai as the secondary writer of the show.
That makes sense, though.
Yeah, it still sucks because it's like, oh, the first time ever that the secondary writers, like, whole thing is Premium Bandai is also the first female secondary writer, which is just leaves a bad taste in the mouth.
Yeah, but seeing as that wasn't intentional, that kind of makes me be like, okay, well, I kind of get it then.
Yeah, because I also
that happens too frequently with Ryder.
I'd also point out that he screwed up Tycoon stuff with Geats, because for whatever reason, his ID core did not come with his main buckle. It was like a pre-order bonus. So it was a gamble if you got Tycoon's proper ID core.
Probably because I bet he wasn't intended to be that long into the show either.
Because Nago's comes with hers, Punk Jax comes with his, fucking Buffa comes with his, and hell, Buffa's came out first out of like the other like writers of the show. You could even get the Desire Driver with Magna, Boost, and Zombie. and it came with both Geats and Buffalo's ID course.
I'd say Tycoon only was meant to be for that first Grand Prix, and then that was supposed to be it.
Probably.
Because early on, it kind of felt like we were following him more than anything, but that would have also made sense. We would have followed the new person in it to learn about everything, to then do the soft handoff to our actual rider. Except for that fully didn't happen. It's one of those that kind of... I can understand that one happening too, because it's like, yeah, you weren't planning for that.
Yeah, this is how Ryder is sometimes. But you know what? She apparently got to transform this week, and I haven't seen it. I guess she got to do cool stuff. Which also fun little note. Toshiki Inoue's daughter got to write this week's episode of Gotchard where she debuted in show.
Huh. Well done.
Which makes her I think maybe the only third generation writer for Ryder, at least, because Toshiki Inoue, longtime writer and stuff. His dad wrote for the original series and for some of the show era or other show era shows. So she's like third generation now, writing for the franchise.
Well done.
But anyway, Saber, the least interesting thing we have to talk about.
I did kind of go off the rails when I mentioned Gotchard, so that was my fault.
You know what? That's fine. Second half, 31. Believing in strength, strength believed in. So May's still in danger, and Rentro's still out of it. Toma tries to tree up Rentro, doesn't work. Toma goes to fight the two of them again. And he's like, I still believe in Rentro. He'll back me up no matter what. And, I still believe in him. And Rentro overhears all this because he's late to the fight. And then that gets him to save Toma. And then he's like, Toma, fight me so I can learn this separation technique, because that's how we got to learn how to do it, I guess. Yuri's not around to tell us how to actually properly learn how to do this.
Except for yet again, Toma's too dense to catch on to this until after. So not once, but twice now he's been challenged to... No, 3 times. He's been challenged to a duel now, and he's too dense to realize what they're doing until after.
Yeah. But yeah, they learned the power and stuff. So hooray! Also, I think this is the last time that power is ever going to be relevant in the show.
There again, another thing that's common in Rider. A case of, we need this thing to solve new problem in show. Hero's Master said thing, no longer needed anymore. You just assume that it's done off screen now.
We save May, and that's the last person we need to save.
I don't know why that's such a trope right there with that.
I don't know either.
And I would complain about that more so than the whole new form trope. Because we all know that one. New form shows up, beats the bad guy that the rider was having a problem with, and then next week gets jobbed out. That one's not as annoying because it's different villains, so okay, that can happen. This whole get power just to never be touched again kind of is a little annoying.
Yeah.
Especially this one, because I seem to recall when they thought Toma could split people from the McGeeds, wasn't one of them making a comment about if he could master it, he might could teach the rest of them?
Yes.
He teaches one person and then we forget about it?
Yeah.
This would be the perfect time to character development the rest of the crew.
Well, it's not going to matter because nobody else in the damn base is going to have a sword besides Ritaro after this last episode.
fair, but still.
But yeah, they blow up the cat, they save May, and then they blow up Zurus, but Astoria saves him. He also picks up the key that May got from Sophia like half dozen episodes ago. That's important. And does more than the one thing it did already, apparently.
Yes, it opens the bathroom.
Also, this is when Yuri gets told by the bird for Tassel that, like, oh, hey, he's taking a nap, and then he just fucks off.
Because, of course,
Thanks,
Tassel has a bird that would relay that message.
Yes, a talking bird, mind you. A talking shiny bird. Anyway, last episode, 32, my thoughts crystallize. Everyone's regrouping at the base, but then it comes our attack by Master Logos, who shoots a big-ass arrow at the base from the other side of the planet.
That takes down the shield.
Neat. And the Zuru shows up in his new paint scheme because he's all powered up and stuff, and he's mad. This will last exactly this episode, and then he's dead. Good job, team.
Well, I mean, he's all heated and on fire over the last episode, so I really, if I had thought about it during the episode, I would have knew exactly what was going to happen at the end.
Yeah.
Because, of course, we're going to have ice form to get rid of him.
I also love how Sevilla leaves through the door she normally goes to the place where the fancy book is, and then the siblings come out of that same door, presumably from some other location.
Yep.
Because we are stuck with this one set, and we have to have everybody come in or out of it. 2 doors that people can come out of, apparently.
That's 3, because we use that third one every so often, and by every so often I mean twice this entire show.
But the third door leads to the hyperbolic time chamber, and they can't come out of the hyperbolic time chamber.
Like I said, twice.
Anyway, at this point, the team divides up. Everyone else decides to go stop Zurus and protect the big fancy book that they have that's part of the bigger fancy book that will blow up the world if it's all reassembled, because reasons. They still have never explained why the fuck, if this big fancy book comes back together, the whole world goes kaboom.
Nor have they explained why, 2 of the 5 parts of the book has wound up in one faction's hand.
Yeah.
Even though that wasn't supposed to be the thing from what we were already told.
Yeah.
Way to go, show. Way to go.
Nice job. But yeah, Toba and Yuri fight the siblings. They do a poor job of it. Durandal ends up fighting the 2 of them, and that's when Toma gets his fancy specialized to allow him to track Durandal's teleportation. So he beats up Durandal for a minute, and then Durandal's like, "Oh, I'm mad now. I'm gonna really." He gets teleported out by Master Logos because he's like, "All right, you're done fighting. Goodbye."
Yeah, because Master Logos tells him to quit. He says, "Screw this. I'm killing him." And then Master Logos says, "Bloop. No, you're done."
I'm like, this fight just got interesting because Toma can defeat Durandal's one technique of teleport behind you and bonk you in the back of the head. I feel like Master Logos realized that and was like, "Oh shit, no, pull him back. You got to learn a new move.
You are not strong enough. You have to use your gimmick."
You have to actually fight people now." But yeah, meanwhile, Zurus beats up Buster because he sent Rentaro ahead to protect Sophie and them. And Buster just gets dragged by Zurus where everybody else is. Also, Rega kind of breaks off Steel's Slash's sword and Kento's old sword and all their books and stuff before stealing Buster's sword and book. Again, this is where we get to see May wielding Ikazuchi for like 0.2 seconds. And I'm like, Yuri, it's like, okay, it's like, Slash, slap the belt on her, slap a book in there, let her transform. It'll buy you more time.
It'll buy you, it'll go from the 0.2 seconds to 0.5 seconds of buying you time.
I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen? I'm sure she could use it.
And I'm sure they wouldn't write that. They would write her transforming and she would get smacked once and immediately be done.
Kind of like with a Pink Necrom in that one episode of Ghost.
Pretty much. Also, wait, I messed up. Who?
I love that suit only exists because we did 3 other recolors of that suit for the movie, and it was like, we can spray paint this pink for one fight scene and never have to use it ever again.
Mm-hmm.
Also, at this point, Reika spots, Zurus dragging around Buster, and that makes her go, "Oh God, Master Locus is working with the Meg Eats. That's not right. That's not what we do." So apparently, Master Locus hasn't told them who he's been told these siblings who he's been working with to do all these plans and stuff.
I feel like Master Logos hasn't told her. Because he sure seems to be like, I don't care, we're following him. That kind of leads me to think he already knows.
Spoilers, he doesn't. I hate to just burst that bubble. No, he doesn't.
So he's just stupid. Okay.
Yes. I again point to the sign of, I don't like Durandal. I think he sucks and is easily replaceable by anything. Anything is an improvement over who he is in this show.
So,
the only improvement,
even if it was Tassel?
Yes.
Okay. Because I feel like that would probably have been where I would have been like, no.
We know Tassel technically can have a writer form because the dark version of him has a writer form in a stage show that uses Kamen Rider Lupin suits stuff.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that that's canon.
True.
Of course, who are we kidding? We can't even guarantee anything in this show is canon. It was written by the Ghost Crew, after all. Just saying.
Also, that is Kamen Rider Tassel.
I wouldn't expect anything less. That is, yeah.
And bear in mind, that is the dark version of Tassel. That is not regular Tassel. No, that's dark Tassel.
Well, of course that's dark Tassel. Don't you see the black on the undersuit? It would be pink too if it was for Tassel.
True. And also, I think this makes like the 3rd different writer that is using the exact same sword, because he is using Falchian's sword and belt. I don't know why they had made that belt be used by 3 different writers, and all of them are useless.
Do all 3 writers appear on the screen or in front of someone at the same time?
No.
Well, then that's why.
Because it's Falchian, it's Final Falchian in the Saber V Cinema, and then it's this.
Then that's why. If all 3 don't take up the same screen space, then just reuse assets.
Yep. Anyway, Toma does the beating Durandal thing. Meanwhile, Rentaro is fighting Zurus and getting beat up, and he's like, I'm not gonna leave anyone behind, as Sophia tries to hold up a barrier to stop Zurus, and that's when the big fancy book that's a part of the bigger fancy book decides, I'm gonna turn into a book for you, and turns into Tatakami. And then now Rentaro has an ice form that lets him change his big mane into other stuff, and that's about all the gimmick does.
So it's only useful for this one fight.
Yep. And he kills Zurus. And they do the same thing they did with Legius, where it's like, it's the person that you were before, being like, hey, you're cool. And then kaboom. And I'm like, why are you trying to make me care?
Because they're trying to redeem their villains.
You have not remotely put in the work and or effort to make that fucking happen.
if they had even went through the point of saying that using the pieces of the big book without them being wonder books could potentially cause you to turn evil, I could maybe understand that. But the way they're doing this, it's implied that way. It's never been stated. If all it would have took was someone explaining that part of it, and then it'd be like, okay, well, they got rid of the evil out of them. It'd be more of a, instead of redeeming them, it would be more of a putting them at rest kind of deal.
Yeah. Which is what they try to do for Legius.
Far better. That would have been far better, but we don't know if they were like this beforehand, or if it was actually the book that caused this.
Yeah, we have all of, 0.5 seconds of them before they were Megites?
Yeah. So it's like, this is stupid. This is pointless.
I feel like 01 put more effort in redeeming Guy than this show has put into redeeming any of its villains so far.
Yeah.
And 01 did not put that much effort into redeeming Guy.
Yeah, no.
Like, I still have people, dunk on Ryugen and Guy, but I'm like, they put more effort in redeeming him than they have to redeem any other fucking villain in the franchise at this point. Y'all need to get off Ryugen's back.
Post-show, yes. If we're only looking at in-show, no.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'd say that's probably what a lot of people are looking at, is within the confines of the show.
Nobody watches Full Throttle.
That's the only thing I can think of for that answer to be there.
Even though it's one of the best crossover movies we've gotten, because for some reason, people don't like the crossover movies that are the 1, 2, 3 subsections. Even though I feel like most of those are stronger than a lot of the all-together plot ones.
I do, but I don't. It's one of those, I kind of like in the sense that it gives both writing teams that one final hurrah.
Mm-hmm.
They always wind up having some kind of plot issue, though. And it's usually from where they try to bring the two stories back together.
Yeah.
It's usually the two separate parts are perfect. They flow right with the show, don't have problems. It's always that combined part that always something gets screwed up there.
Mm-hmm.
They either act like a cameo didn't exist, or there's this form that's should technically be there, but they never make any references to it in the show, or it's always some kind of something stupid. Or it's the Drive Ghost crossover.
Well, that one is the all-in-one story. That's not a three-parter. That's an all-in-one story.
Just saying, that's not the only one that does Dome like that, though, if I'm not mistaken.
I guess the 1, 2, 3-parters work for me because I end up liking those more. Probably because those are the ones I really like, are the ones where we didn't have ancillary material for them after the fact. Because the last time we have the double cast together is honestly not even Megamax. Yeah, not Megamax. It would be Movie War Core, because only Shotaro and Philip are back from Megamax.
It's one of those that I can kind of see it, though. Especially if you're looking at continuity, because Toei does not pay attention to that. I could see people shying away from those a little bit more. Granted, I kind of fall in the same path as you on that. I can overlook the minor stuff that we usually get out of those.
Mm-hmm.
I can usually be like, okay, well, it is what it is. Or that was movie exclusive, so it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
But some people can't.
I do feel like we've at least gotten like two really good versions of, or at least one really good version of a multi-part like crossover film with Mega Max, and I feel like we've also gotten a really good all-in-one story with Forever. I want to say it's a toss-up between Forever and Dr. Pac-Man, and I don't know which one I would prefer. I would think one of those two did it the best.
It's one of those, in all seriousness, though. It don't matter which style crossover movie it is, there's going to be some kind of continuity issue.
Yeah.
And it's more because Toei doesn't have someone doing like how Marvel does. They don't have someone overseeing it all to be like, okay, well, this isn't in continuity. We don't need to do that. Yeah, and it's more because I don't think they really care. As long as the shows flow good and the movies aren't too off the wall, they're not gonna care if the little minor details are spot on.
Yeah, because I point to Gaim, where they blew up America, and then the very next show has two major characters be from America. Perfectly fine, and not referencing the fact that it got blown up. Like, you can't have that if you want to keep continuity.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't work that way. If we have to put more effort than the writers do in order to make all this stuff work, then it's clear that there is not supposed to be continuity. We're patching holes that just exist. Anyway, was there anything else in the episode? Rentaro blew up Zerus with his new form.
I don't think so.
A bunch of stuff got stolen. Storius stole the big fancy book from the bathroom for making people, and I think that's it.
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
That's Saber for the week, folks. Hooray, it's another week down. I'm just like, how much longer until Cross Saber? Because I think I can enjoy Cross Saber's debut. Because otherwise I'm just like, well, this show certainly is 4 episodes I have to watch on a weekly basis.
What, one, maybe 2 more of our episodes? Because I'd say, what, 36, 37, somewhere around there? Or is it a light one?
38.
Well, it was close. We may or may not have done this for too long.
So it's almost like this shit has patterns, and every time I see people freak out about it, not about stuff, I'm just like, it still fits the pattern.
Yep.
Y'all keep forgetting this shit. Stop it.
Because it's always late 30s for final form. You usually start getting hints for it early 30s, but that's about it.
It's always June. Every time someone's like, is this the final form? I'm like, does it debut in June? Yes, it's the fucking final form then. They all debut in June. Why is this a question? They also literally call it the Psycho form whenever they're advertising it. That means it's the final form. Stop it.
Except for with 01 and Saber, they probably didn't full on with that because, you know, we did have a final form.
No, they still did.
Yeah. I kind of like that designation. Us have 02 and Cross Saber as final forms, and then realizing Hopper and whatever Sabers is as the final form.
Almighty, because much like 01, it's named after the theme song, because the book is called Wonder Almighty, and it's Almighty Saber.
Notice I did not care or two, pay attention to that part of it, because I have seen the final episode and still was not any more impressed with the show than I was when I left it at episode 6. So that's gonna say a lot by the time we get to the end of this.
Yep. Because somehow we've made it further than I thought we would. I figured we were going to hit a point where it's just like, nah, fuck this show, we're done.
If the writing for some of this hadn't actually decided to turn around, I probably would have gave up on this. Probably about the same spot that we ended Kabuto with, because it was just, meh.
That's damning. That, folks, if you don't understand, that is damning.
Because I think we ended Kabuto on, what, 18 or 20, somewhere around there?
Sounds about right.
I know it was early. We didn't even get halfway in that show. You did, because you're a fool, but...
Yes. Because I'm like, this show must improve, right? If it can't go down deeper, it goes down deeper, because everyone who likes the show, I'm just like, what fucking show do you see? Because good lord, I don't see it.
Which
I just see a cast of characters that I despise.
Which is funny because Saber did the opposite, in my opinion.
It has crawled out of the hole ever so slightly.
It has gotten a finger out of the hole. It hasn't crawled out of it.
It is hanging on for dear life. Like, oh god, I can't screw up now. If I screw up, we're dead. The show's done.
Also, I meant to mention this. Did you notice the crappy CGI when Master Logos fired the arrow?
Oh, that's not like the worst CGI in this show. Don't worry.
That is the most blatant of the bad CGI we've had so far.
It will get
there's
worse.
been some bad CGI. I'm not going to deny that. That is the worst so far.
Don't worry. There is one worse that people have memed to death, that are probably one of the other reasons people like the show, kind of ironically, is because of this one stupid scene. It is also a scene that reminds me of our Arc 5, and it just makes me go, oh god, I hate this show now by proxy now.
I just don't understand how they couldn't get the arrow to line up with the bow or his hand. The arrow was doing its own thing.
Look, we gotta get this done in like 6 hours, and like everybody wants to go
6
home.
hours would have been enough time to have done it. I feel like that was 6 minutes. That's not bad on them. That's just one of those, why did that go out the door? Why did no one stop and say, no, we're going to take 5 more minutes and at least make that look halfway decent? Because what was bad, I don't know if they didn't give him a prop or anything for that.
I'm willing to bet he had no prop.
But that's exactly what that looked like. That looked like they tried to freeform that. They didn't give him like a green screen bow and arrow or anything to where they could just map it over it or nothing. No, there was nothing there. There couldn't have been. I saw that, and that immediately took me out of the scene for like a good hot minute there, while I was like, wait, what? We just what? And trust me, I believe you on that's not the worst. That's just the worst we've seen so far.
Yeah. Because trust me, there is worse. There is people literally have a GIF saved of the moment that is worse than that.
I think before this, the worst probably would have been one of the early episodes where we had the CGI city.
The Unreal Engine city.
Yep.
Yeah.
I feel like that one probably was the worst before this. But at least that one looks like someone took 5 minutes to look it over and be like, okay, this is good enough.
I love how much people hope that, like, oh, they're making an Unreal Engine. That'll make things better, right? And I'm like, who's making it? Because it would require people with experience in Unreal Engine to make that. and also have the time to do so.
What I don't get though is there's a lot of TV and movie studios that use Unreal Engine because it is easier to do CGI stuff in it. Did they just get a crew that had no experience with it?
According to the bit of research I did, yes. It was a brand new studio.
Because that's one of those, none of this looks like there wasn't. It doesn't look like it was a case of there was no effort. It looks like there was effort there. There just was not that second person there that was like, wait, no, we can't send it this way.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that more feels like, more than anything. It's bad, but it's not the, oh dear God, why bad?
Yeah.
Which is probably the best compliment that a brand new studio to Unreal Engine could get.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's it, folks. Tomorrow it's Super Mario Wonder.
The back half.
I'm actually gonna do
we did get to World 4,
we're at the start
right?
of Desert.
Okay.
I'm actually gonna do a bit of a kind of walkthrough of the notes and stuff to make sure I'm doing it right, and also I can like get a note format that'd be better for me in terms of the flow of it, of like, okay, this coin's here before this seed. That way, if I hit the seed, I'm like, okay, I missed that coin.
For the most part, if you get to the seed, you're missing a coin, you've pretty much missed the coin.
Yeah.
All the coins should be before the seed. So I mean that is one good thing there. Truthfully, if you're wanting to put in the work for it, it wouldn't be a bad idea to use like the IGN map or something like that to kind of get a feel of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'd say they've probably got interactive maps. I know they do for Odyssey.
Yeah, and they've got they've
at least got a guide so you could get the pictures of where each of them are.
Yeah, I was trying to think of their Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom because they have maps for those.
Because I know I actually, when we were doing the archipelago, I think I actually had to pop into the guide for one of the search parties.
That's tomorrow. Next Thursday is continuing Project Cross Zone. Next Friday is Thing.
I still need to look over the Halo 2 stuff, but it probably will be that.
Okay. And then next week will be TGS, where we'll get to talk about Microsoft Showcase thing they did this past week. And by Microsoft Showcase, I mean they announced an Indiana Jones game. And I'd like you to look at it because something about it is tripping me up to make me go like, there's something wrong with this trailer and I don't know what it is. And maybe you'll spot it better than I can because I can't put it into words when I'm seeing. But it's making me go, there's a problem here.
There you go, by the way.
All right. Amongst whatever else is to come. Anywho, if you like what you're seeing, folks, drop by. Drop a follow. Really appreciate it. Chip away that affiliate go at TGS Network on Mastodon.social and at TGS Saloon on Twitter. Leave you information on when we go live. Next page point, Discord and chat. Is link. Drop by. Say hi. We'll see you tomorrow, folks.